Oh, it's a good day. Ba, 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 ba. Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming live from Sun City in Arizona. I hope you all had a super fantastic, sparkling day. I know I have. It has been an awesome, awesome day. First of all, my new hat arrived. Actually, I got two new hats. I got this one to keep my ears warm when we go out walking in the morning, because all I have right now is my Christmas beanie that has ho, 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 or ha, 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 or something like some Christmas saying around the top and bands around the top of it. But I like this one. And I got this one, and I have to tell you, it's very comfortable to wear. It protects my ears from the wind, which is a huge issue for me when I'm outside and it's windy. But do you know what the cool part is about this hat? There's a hole in the top. You know what this hole is for? This hole is for a messy bun. So you women with long hair and you want a beanie where you can put your hair through the top as a ponytail or a messy bun, this is a great hat for that. See, it's got a, and for me, it's going to be awesome because I get very hot with hats, which is why you don't see me wear them a lot. Or if you do, they've got ventilation of some sort, especially in the summertime. If I have to put a hat on, they've got some sort of ventilation around the top, because if my head gets hot, I'm grouchy. But this one has a messy, it's called a messy bun hole in the top of this beanie. So that's really cool. And my other one is for the non-wind, when it's cold, but just for the non-windy days. And that's this one. I like this one. What you think? I kind of like how this one looks. Oh, look, I can even do that with it. I can do that with it. I like that. Oh, we'll leave it like that. That looks fun. The only problem is this one gets really hot, I've already discovered, because it is actually lined. But this is a super comfy hat. Love this one too. So yeah, so those are my two new hats that arrived today. I was so happy to get those. Kind of wish I had one of them, the black one this morning, because it was a little windy outside. And I do have like my sun hat that I wear that has the visor that goes all the way around the brim. But I've noticed that when I'm walking and it's windy, in some areas when I turn my head a certain way, I get the wind whistling past my ears. Oh, and you know what fabulous sight we could get today, but I couldn't get in a really good position to take a photograph of it? Nine hot air balloons up this morning. 9. 8 were grouped together and one was off by itself to the side. And then I saw one slowly descend down. And then after Zephy had done her thing, we were taking it to the trash can. We started walking back. I turned around, and the one that was over here is now over here and there's now 8 sitting there. Oh, and then the other one started rising back up again. So I was like, this is pretty cool. Had not seen that many balloons up in one space at one time, but that was really cool. So what else happened today? I got 100% on assessment number 3. Yes. So I'm feeling pretty good about that one. That was all about probates. I love probates. And people go, what has probates got to do with genealogy? It's not the actual probate process that we're interested in. It's the documentation that is associated with probates. When you get a probate packet, in there you can find things like death certificates, wills and testaments. You will find inventory of what assets that they owned. You could find witness reports in there based on how the person died, or if there is no will left. So whether they are testate with a will or intestate without a will, every probate case has a packet, and that packet contains different documents that it needs in order for them to process the probate correctly within the boundaries of the law and the wishes of what the deceased person wanted if they left a will. And so it's not the process we're interested in. We want the probate packet, because in there, if they're doing a will or something like that, you've got heirs listed and how they're related to the deceased. So you can get some really good records in a probate with some really good information, which is why I love this section, because you never know what you're going to find. You can find all sorts of things. There's been illegitimate children revealed in wills that you find out about in probate packets. And yes, that has happened, where somebody has recognized a son or a daughter that they had out of wedlock or had because of an affair, and the family knew nothing about it. And yet the father, it's usually the male, had left something for that child to help them in life and that sort of thing. So, or there's something for the mistress. Yes, that has been revealed as well. And I'm like, that's really tough, because now the person's gone and you can't like scream and yell at them about what they did wrong or anything like that, because they're gone. They don't have to deal with the fallout from that. And I'm like, that's kind of the cheat's way out. I'm sorry. But anyway, so that was one of my favorite sections. This next section is the last week that we have with this instructor team. So we have the main instructor for the week, and then she has facilitators to help throughout the week because of the number of students. So you're each assigned to a group, and each group has a facilitator associated with that group that you can put questions and answers and things like that in. And so we lose this whole team at the end of this week, and we get a new team next week, a new team the following week, and a new team for the week after that. So this is the only time we have the same team for multiple modules. The next 3 modules after this one, our last 3, are all new instructors for each one. And I'm like, oh, I kind of like these ones. But I'm already about halfway through all the reading I have to do for this week with my assessment and all that. Already got the assessment printed out, well, not printed out, saved to a PDF file so I can keep an eye on it as I go through the week. Thursday, because it's Thanksgiving and I'm not going anywhere on Thanksgiving to anybody's place, which is perfectly fine. I've got that set aside to watch maybe a couple of James Bonds that day, since I doubt on Sunday, with the wedding being in the evening, if I will get any James Bond movies in that evening, depending, of course, how late it goes. And I've got to be up early the next morning to drive to San Diego. So, yeah, so I probably won't, unless I watch it in the morning time frame, but I figured I just might get one movie ahead on Thanksgiving. Only if I have a certain amount of study done and I'm at a certain point with my studying and all of that, will I allow myself to do that on Thanksgiving. So, yeah, and this one is, oh, jeepers, hang on. I've totally forgotten what the theme is for this week. Oh my gosh, how could I do that? Proof in a narrative structure. So I'm just reading about present tense, past tense, future tense, when you're writing out the research paper and stuff, because when you write out the proof, so you're trying to prove, does this person belong to this family? Does this person not? You've got your research question, and then you're writing the paper to go with it. So it's learning all the ins and outs and the grammar and all of that sort of stuff. And we follow Chicago style manual number 17, which I happen to have on my bookcase, along with something evidence, which is a genealogy citation book. And I've always struggled with citations. And it suddenly dawned on me the other day when I was looking at a citation, I thought, hang on, I recognize this lady. Back when I was in high school, when I was in middle school, I was one of the school librarians. Students got to volunteer to work in the libraries during breaks and lunch times. And part of our role in working in the library was not only checking books in and out, it was learning to bookbind, to cover books. So when we got new books in, covering all those, putting the plastic wrap on all of the dust jackets to protect them, or and then putting the little label on the back, on the spine, doing the catalog. Hey, excuse me. She's breathing to me. Let go. Release. She wants to play tug. Release. Nope. I'm sorry. She doesn't normally get this playful until a little later. Actually, that was the bad thing to do. And then we also got to write up the catalog cards, and we had to learn how. And for those who don't know what catalog cards were, they were, I want to say 3x5s, but basically, you know, these index cards. Yeah, this is a 4x6. I think it is. But they're, you know, roughly about the size. They would be in this big thing with all these little drawers that these would fit exactly in. They actually had a hole down the bottom, so you could pull out the pole on the hole, stick the card in there, and push it all the way in. So the cards would always stay in order. And when you were doing fiction, you had to do 3 cards. One was for the genre, one was by author, and one was by title. For nonfiction, you had a few more you had to do. You had to do subject, title, author, and Dewey Decimal Classification, and there was one more we had to do. I can't remember what the 5th one was. But when you're doing the nonfiction ones, it's basically the same information that goes on there. Hey, bring that here. Thank you. Release. Thank you. Oh, this dinosaur's seen better days. She gets 2 new boxes this week. You'll get that back. And so when I was looking at some of it, it suddenly dawned on me that what I wrote on those cards years ago is the same way that as on some of them, is the same way we format our citations. And citations list who it's about, the title, the author, the who, the what, the when, the where, and the where within, something like that. But basically, you've got the author of the thing, then you have the title of the article or the book, then you have the year of publication, then you have, I'm going to see if I can get this right, then you have the name of the publisher, and if it is a page in a volume, where in that volume that particular information is. So it actually gives the page reference and that sort of stuff. And the book I have on the evidence book is like about this. If you've ever seen the Chicago style number 17, it's exactly the same size. They're about this thick and they're like about this big. Very big books. But in the evidence one, it goes through probably just about every way that you need to write a citation for any type of material you come across for genealogy, whether it is a manuscript, whether it is an image, whether it is found online, or if it's found in a library. If you find it in a library, you got to put where in the library it was found. If it's in an archive, if it's in a file, if it's in a register, if it's in an index, there are so many places that you can get genealogy information from. And so knowing how to put this all together is very, very important. So when you're doing the proof, you have to follow the genealogy. Hang on, where's my book? I'm pulling up my book. Get your nose out of there. It's so funny. The genealogy standard, we have to go by this book. And there is the genealogy proof standards in here of the ways that we have to prove what our statement is. If we got a research question and we come up with an answer, how do we get that answer? Do we exhaust all the places we could search in order to find that information? Are we using indirect evidence? Are we using actual evidence? Is it primary? Is it secondary? Is it unknown? So there's all sorts of things. And in the back of this, which I absolutely love this map, we have the evidence analysis map. So on this, we have to use this to help us determine if where our source is from, what our information is. Our sources are original, derivative, authoritative, authored. Sorry. The information is at primary, secondary, like first hand is primary, second hand is secondary or undetermined, and the evidence is at direct, like explicit, indirect, not explicit, or negative, not explicit at all. And we come down to that analysis, and we've got this whole process and standards and stuff within here that we have to go through, and we have to comply with those in order to prove our statement. So now we're looking at how you write those narratives, which is kind of cool because I've not written one before. So this is going to be fun because I love to write. And so this is going to be a very different way of writing for me. It's going to be in a way that I haven't written before. I have written with footnotes before, but not in a genealogical sense. So this is going to be something new for me. I'm excited to learn it. I'm halfway through my studies on it already. So yeah, it's been a really cool day. I got a lot of work done today. I was very productive, got a lot of work done. And then I woke up at like 2:30 this morning. Couldn't really get back to sleep. So I lay in bed and read for a bit. And I thought, I'll go. I needed to go to the bathroom. So I went to do that. And I realized it was 4:30. I'm like, just going to get up. That's it. I'm up for the day. And so I did that. And it's just been a really, really good day. Got to meet an amazing person today. Got to meet a new person. She's a face reader. She reads people's faces, which is kind of interesting. We didn't get to talk about that a lot, but the next time I talk with her, I'm going to ask her about it because it just fascinated me how you can sit there in a room and you can look at people's faces and kind of know, know what they're thinking, know whether they're going to buy something or not buy something. That'd be a handy skill to have, huh? Maybe I'll get her on the show one time as a guest and we can go through that. That would be awesome. Yes. So, yeah, it's been a really good day today. And last night, my question, questions for License to Kill, which was Timothy Dalton's second and last James Bond movie. They were actually supposed to do, he was actually contracted to do 3, but the third one got tied up in all this legal battle and everything else that I'm not exactly sure of the outcome of the battle, but they ended up not making the third movie that he was contracted to do. Now the chase scene. Oh my gosh, that chase scene with the oil tankers down that windy road is incredible. If you have not seen that movie, that scene alone where they do the chasing with the tankers and all of that is just amazing. And in the special features, they talk about how they approach Kenworth Manufacturing, who do the big, one of the manufacturers for the big trucks. They approached Kenworth and said, this is what we want to do. One part of the movie on the chase scene is that he's driving the 18-wheeler, James Bond is driving the 18-wheeler truck. So you got the cab with an oil tanker on the back that's full, and he goes up like this and drives along to avoid a missile. The guy pulls the trigger on the missile. He tips up, so the missile goes underneath the carriage. And they had to do so much special construction. They had to do some changes on the trucks in order to be able to do these tricks with the trucks, like tipping it up. Then the other one that you see is there's this wall of fire. So he pops the front end of the truck up and just goes through this firewall, and he's just on the back wheels of the cab. So he's got the cab there, no trailer on the back, it's just the cab, and he pops up the front and is able to drive through on the back wheels only. Again, they had to do special construction to that to enable the truck to do it. The detail they went into on these trucks and what they had to do to modify them for this chase was incredible, and how the trucking company just said, they even interviewed some of the guys from the trunking company with the manufacturers and all of that sort of thing. It's an incredible documentary about how they did that whole entire chase scene down a windy hill with oil tankers. It's incredible. And it just blows my mind every time I watch it. I know what's going to happen at the end of the chase, but it's just knowing what they did to get to be able to do that stuff was just amazing. And the fact that they came up with these ideas, like pop, if you're wondering what popping up is, think of when you see motorcycle riders out on the freeways and stuff, and they suddenly pop up their front wheel and just drive along on their back wheel. They did that with the cab of a truck. They just popped up that front end and just drove it through. Yeah. So I love that chase scene. Tonight I'm watching GoldenEye. Now, License to Kill came out in 1989. The next movie, GoldenEye, which is the first, and because of all the legal battles and all that, that's why there was such a big gap as well. So 1989 was when License to Kill came out. GoldenEye, which was the next James Bond movie, number 17, if I remember correctly, came out in 1995, and this was Pierce Brosnan's first of 4 movies as James Bond. They actually wanted James Bond. They wanted Pierce Brosnan to come in when Roger Moore ended after A View to a Kill. They wanted him to come in and do Living Daylights, but he was under contract with Remington Steele at the time, and they wouldn't let him go. So they had to wait until he was out. So when it came to finding the new one, of course, they went back to Pierce Brosnan. Now, I love Pierce Brosnan as James Bond. Sean Connery is still my favorite. And the reason I love Pierce Brosnan is he's a little bit of Sean Connery, a little bit of Roger Moore, and then his own attitude thrown in there. So you get to see this beautiful blend of these 3 people in one person, which is amazing. I do enjoy him as James Bond. Mind you, I enjoy all the James Bonds. So. And when we get to Casino Royale, I will tell you the issues I had with that movie when it first came out, until it suddenly dawned on me. It took me a while, but it suddenly dawned on me, and now it's all okay. But when we get to that one, we'll talk about that then. So Pierce Brosnan, GoldenEye tonight has an amazing opening sequence, which is stunning. I was just sort of like, there is no way in hell I would do anything like that. But if you have not seen the opening sequence of GoldenEye, please go find some way to watch it. It is amazing. The whole opening sequence, from the top of the dam to the plane, there's a whole thing that happens in between that. And then there's a lot of really good it's just a really good movie. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. I love the chase scene, which ends up with them on a train, and then they have to escape the train that they're locked in before it explodes. So there's a lot of tension in this movie. A lot of good tension in this movie, and there's great fight scenes as well. And let's see, I think it's this one, both Sean Bean and Pierce Brosnan at the end when they're doing the big fight on the satellite. They did all their own stunts except for one part, and I can't remember which part that was, but I know that there was a part where Pierce Brosnan actually injured his hand, and so wasn't able to do one of the stunts, but they did all their own stunts, and they basically did all their own stunts in that fight scene on the satellite. And I thought, when I saw that, I was like, my admiration for those two just went from here to here. About the fact that they could, because when you see that whole fight scene at the end on the satellite and everything, it's an amazing fight scene on the satellite. And the first time I saw it, I was literally on the edge of my seat, almost biting my nails and kind of doing this. And but it is a really cool fight scene at the end. In fact, there's not really much I don't like about this movie. I like them all. And Boris, oh, you got to love a Boris. Everybody's got to have a Boris in their life. He's one of those tech guys who thinks he's invincible. Yeah. he was actually quite a funny character. But anyway, so going to go and watch James Bond now as soon as GoldenEye, as soon as I give Zeffie her evening treats, and then we're going to kick back and relax. And yeah, so Thursday is going to be a day of finishing study. I may watch 2 James Bond movies that day. I will get some study done tomorrow. I have an hour blocked in every morning to do study, and an hour in the evening immediately after work I do study. And then we go for a walk, and then I come in and do this. But mark your calendars for 6 p.m. Pacific time on Friday, because we have a guest coming on. So 6 p.m. on Friday. That's Black Friday for most people. Mark your calendars to come and join us, because I have a very special guest coming on for you guys. And she is an amazing woman, incredible. She inspires me. One of those ones that she just inspires me. And this is sort of like, she's one of those women that's sort of like, I want to be you when I grow up type of thing. And I have many women in my life that I am very thankful for that inspire me in different ways. And so you get to meet another inspiring friend of mine on Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific. So put that in your calendars. We will put the event into Facebook and on YouTube on Friday morning. But it's going to be amazing. Oh my gosh. So I've got so much going on this week, plus getting ready to drive to LA on Saturday, and getting Zeffie's stuff ready to drop her off on Friday morning. And then as soon as I drop her off, I'm off to meet up with some friends for breakfast. And yeah, it's going to be the next few days are going to be busy, but Thursday is going to be my get ready to go day. Get study done, get ready to go day, and just start, get the laundry done, clean the RV. Well, I'm probably going to do that a little bit here and a little bit there, and that sort of stuff. We still have to go get the mail. We went to get the mail this morning. I had Zeffie with me, but there was no parking spaces close to the mail place. The nearest parking space was way down the back of the parking area, and there was no way I was going to leave Zeffie in the car by herself that far away, because she would have been crying because she can't see me. Most of the times when I take her, and it was like 63 degrees outside, and she would have had the windows down, had water there, but she would have been crying and scared that somebody would have come along and broken into my car to get her out. But when I park her in front of the UPS store where I have my mailbox, she just sits there in the back seat and just watches those doors till I come back out again. And I have watched her from inside, and she just sits there and just stares at the doors. And occasionally some noise or something will happen, and she'll just do a quick glance to the side, whichever side it's on, and then look straight back at those doors again. So, but I like to have her where I can see her. And so with the closest, we didn't get the mail this morning. So I've got to figure out when to go get it, because I know I've got like 5 packages sitting there, and I have to get them before I leave. So I'm even thinking I might do it on Friday after breakfast. Whip over because I'm going to be like halfway there anyway. So I'll just leave the restaurant, just go down to the next block. There's my mail place, pick up my mail, and then just go back home and come back home again. So anyway, I'm out of here. Go have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Go watch GoldenEye if you want to, or go watch James. What is your favorite James Bond movie to watch? Who is your favorite James Bond? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know if you've seen GoldenEye and what you think of the scenes that I talked about. If you've seen License to Kill, what are your thoughts on the chase scene in that one? And tonight's chase scene is awesome. I love tonight's chase scene as well. I don't know, for some reason I start laughing through the chase scene that's in GoldenEye when they're going through St. Petersburg. I just crack up laughing. I don't know why. I don't know why I find it funny. There's just certain points in it I just start laughing. So anyway, I'm out of here. Go have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific or thereabouts. Hey, konara.